بسم الله الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على من بعث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah everyone. I'm here, I'm live again. Just while we're waiting for a few people to come in, I'll just post the link on Facebook as well, inshallah. Didn't do the last time. So let me put that there. Jazakumullah khairan for joining me. And of course on this live stream together we post Ramadan behavior and post Ramadan habits, right? So we're going to build upon this springboard of Ramadan and we're going to turn into something amazing, which is a lifelong habit of good. Okay, so just pasting this here. I don't know, is that a link? Live now. Edit URL settings. Don't want to spend too long on that. If they're curious, they can join. Okay, say Assalamu alaikum in the chat. Just let me know you can hear me and everything. Just type 1 or type Assalamu alaikum if you can hear me and if you're here and everything. Inshallah. Okay. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, inshallah. So we'll get going, just so you know, people watching the replay and stuff like that do not have to wait so long to get into the juice of it. And I'm sure people can join in as we go anyway, right? So, Bismillah. So why am I doing this? You know, I should have done this last year, I realized, because at the beginning of Ramadan, we did that live stream together where we planned out our Ramadan, right? You know, we said, if you plan your Ramadan, you're going to be much more likely to firstly have a definition of a good Ramadan and then actually meet that definition, you know, like actually have that good Ramadan, right? So that's what you've done, hopefully, up until now. You said, okay, for me, a successful Ramadan is to do these 3 things every day, you know, like Taraweeh, read Quran, and, you know, make dua, for example. Make dua for 5 minutes, right? And we got very specific on how to do that and everything, a really powerful way of setting those goals. Now it's the 27th day of Ramadan, and it, you know, Ramadan will be leaving us in 2 or 3 days, right? So what will we do beyond this, right? Are we just going to go and, you know, honestly, when you leave Ramadan, often things continue quite well for a little bit, and then it tends to dip. So how do we avoid that dip? How do we build upon this momentum? Remember in the first live stream at the beginning of the month, subhanAllah, like 3 weeks ago, I talked about how Ramadan, it's like a training. It's like the training session for the rest of the year, right? And so you train hard in Ramadan so that outside of the training in the real competition, things are kind of easier, right? And you're used to a certain amount of strain, a certain amount of work like that you're putting in, a certain amount of effort that you're putting in. So that's the idea here. You've been reading, you've been fasting every day for 27 days, and you've been reading Quran, let's say, every day. Let's capitalize on that and let's set these habits up after Ramadan so we continue, right? And let me paint a picture for you of what I think, you know, what your life should be like in terms of what your aspirations should be in terms of being what you might consider a pious person. Like, how do I practically go about that? For me, it's all about habits, right? That is ultimately the way you're going to become a good person. You're going to become a pious person, is doing good habits that, you know, Allah approves of, Allah loves, Allah is pleased with, and doing that again and again and again, right? So these habits could be reading Quran, fasting, memorizing Quran, giving charity, right? These are just some examples. Now, we do a lot of that in Ramadan, alhamdulillah, but what if we were doing that every single week or every single day? Okay, so for example, a lot of people, they fast 3 days of the month, as the Prophet ﷺ recommended. They fast 3 days of a month every month, right? Or they fast every Monday, or they fast every Monday and Thursday, right? But what if you are not there now, right? You're fasting 30 days now, alhamdulillah, that's good. But it seems like a big leap to go out there and like start fasting, you know, 2 days a week, every week. Like, you might grind to a halt. So that's why I recommend you become very, very gradual about it. almost to a ridiculous level, but it works. Okay. And you get that progress eventually, right? It's about being patient, and it's about saying, yeah, Allah, I would like to fast 2 days of the week, every single week for the rest of my life. This is my ultimate goal. But I fear that I will burn out if I go straight into that. And therefore, for the sake of you, Allah, for the sake of actually achieving that goal at some point in my life, I'm going to start with just once a week, for example, fasting, right? And that's really my approach, is to be extremely gradual with it. I've talked many times about starting to read 10 minutes of Quran every day. 10 minutes. You might think 10 minutes, like what's even the point? Like that's for example, you might say I read slowly. For me, that's like one page, 2 pages, right? But that's not the point. The point is the long-term vision. So this year, you're reading 5 minutes a day, every day. Now, that alone is a huge accomplishment, to say, I read Quran every single day of my life. How many shuyukh have you heard recommend that? How many people think, yeah, that's something good I should do? But they might see it as reading, 20 minutes, half an hour a day. But it doesn't have to be like that, right? And also, some people say, read 1A a day. Even if it's 1A, just pick up Quran, read 1A, close it, right? That's good, but we need to put more of a framework into it as well. Okay, so we're going to do that together. We're going to kind of plan our goals here for Ramadan, for after Ramadan. Okay, so remember that the goal here is to be very, very gradual. Okay, so just similar to how we did with Ramadan, with planning our Ramadan, we're going to plan our post Ramadan, right? And for this, it depends where you are in terms of what kind of habits you already have in your life that are good. We're going to want to add 1-2 habits. Basically, that's what we're going to want to do. So we're going to do that together, and the format for it is like I said in the same as the other live stream, the Ramadan live stream. Just going to get my notebook here. Okay, got my own kind of notebook here, and the format is the same. It is I will, or I prefer to do it in the present tense. So I read 5 minutes of Quran every day at a certain time, and that time must be linked to an existing habit. So think of what existing habits you already have and link it to that, right? For me, if you're already praying 5 prayers, alhamdulillah, every single day, me, one of the main things I recommend is reading Quran every single day. And I do recommend, if you don't currently read Quran every single day, I recommend you do 5 minutes a day. And this time next year, inshallah, you're going to change that to 10 minutes. And then year 3, you're going to change to 15 minutes. So just give yourself 5 years, for example. Give yourself 5 years, and you'll be reading Quran 25 minutes a day, every day of your life. I'm talking about every single day of your life, right? In 365 days, maybe you would miss 10 because you're ill. Maybe you miss 10, 15, but every single day otherwise, right? That's the goal here. So Quran is the number 1 habit that I would have you establish if you're already praying and doing the minimums, okay? So the way that you would plan that, you would say, I read, and then you put the time, right? I do a countdown time. I don't do it by pages because I like to just be with the Quran. And if I want to go slow and just read at a slower pace and think about it, then I've got that as an option. If I just want to read through it at a normal pace, I've got that as an option. So the time is the factor here, not the pages. Because when you put a page thing where it's like, I'm going to read 3 pages a day, it becomes a bit of more, I don't know, I feel like it's more of a chore. And it's like, oh, I've just got to get through this page. Whereas if it's a time, it's like I'm just spending time with the Quran. And in that time, I might get through 1 page, I might get through 5 pages, but I'm just spending that time. So I like to do a countdown timer. And look at this. I mean, it's really cool, actually. Here on my phone, you can see that there at the bottom there are these presets. Okay, so I just go there. I might press here. There, one of the presets is 15 minutes. So I sit down in the masjid usually after salah, after dhuhr usually I do it, and I whip up my phone and I just put this timer start. I lock the phone, I put it away, and then I just start reading, and I just read and read and read until the timer is done. I put the Quran away. I remember the page I was on, and I go. right? And I'm done, right? And that is how I established this habit, right? So the number one habit I recommend you establish after Ramadan, or the habit that you continue after Ramadan, is reading the Quran. Like I've said, for people who are just joining now, I recommend starting with 5 minutes a day, but this is 5 minutes a day every single day. And the vision is that, yeah, Allah, in 5 years, I want to be reading 25, 30 minutes every single day in my life. And then in 10 years, I want to be reading 1 hour a day every day. Right. So this is the way we think with this. It's gradual, and it's almost limiting what you do today to maximize what you do later for the sake of Allah, right? Because burnout is a real thing. And it's very hard to establish habits. It's very hard to establish habits. Okay, so don't underestimate that. So one of the goals I recommend is that. So I'm going to phrase it like this, and watch the phrasing because it's important. I read 15 minutes of Quran, and as much detail as you need. So you might say, I already know this, so I'm not going to write it, but you might say, I read 15 minutes of Quran cover to cover after Dhuhr, after I pray Dhuhr, right? You might want to add the location there. For me, it's obvious. Dhuhr is in the masjid, apart from the recent situation. Usually it's in the masjid, so I know that. But you add as much detail as possible, so there is no thinking needed. There is no thinking needed. That's the main point here, is that you've written the goal out in so much detail that once you've written it, you don't need to think, okay, what should I read today? Surah al, I don't know, Falaq, Surah al-Qaf, Surah Qaf, Surah whatever, Baqarah. There's no thinking needed. It's cover to cover. I save my place. I pick it up. I read. Right. Where do I do it? Oh, my room is actually busy. Oh, this place is. Oh, there's too many people there. No, find the place, put it in the goal, and it's done. It's done. Even if you need to go to your car, sit in your car, read, come back, and whatever it is. Yeah. Establish these details now while we're planning this goal. The idea with these habits is remove as much thinking as possible. Okay, so that's one habit that I really recommend you do, and that might be your habit building done, right? Because if before Ramadan you didn't have any kind of habits, a better habits other than like praying, the minimum prayers, then this honestly is solid. Like 5-10 minutes Quran every single day. Do that for 3 to 6 months. If you actually do it every single day after 6 months, I would say that's fine to add another 5 minutes a day, right? But first, let's get there, right? First, let's do 30 days in a row, 60 days in a row, right? That's the idea here. So that's a really good habit. Another habit would be the adhkar after your salah. So you pray Fajr, for example, and after salah, there are certain dua and certain, I don't know what, like adhkar is. Adhkar. You guys know what adhkar is. There's certain adhkar to say after salah. Okay, so that could be a really good habit. So you could get it on your phone, where it's like the app which covers all the adhkar of salah. Let me just see. I think I've got an app for it. But in the masjid, in a lot of the masajid, it's actually written on the wall. They have posters. Okay, so daily supplications, and then mosque. I don't think they have it in this one. If you have an iPhone, right, one of the best adhkar apps I've ever seen it's called adhkar in Arabic. Adhkar. That it's only on iPhone. It's really good. The interface is amazing. It's very well done, right? Counting, because some of these, for example, you do Subhanallah wa bihamdi 100 times. There's like a tally counter there where you just tap your phone and you just say it, right? So that's another really good one, is adhkar after salah, right? Another one you could do is adhkar, the morning adhkar, right? Another one is the evening adhkar. So obviously you're going to only pick one of these until it becomes absolute routine and habit, right? Absolute routine and habit that you're doing this every single day. So that's the idea here. Remember, yeah, I'm repeating the same principles. And what I expect you're doing right now on this live stream is you're planning out your post-Ramadan habits with me now. And you're using the format, which is I do X for X long, right? At this time or after this existing habit, right? So as an example, I already said, I read Quran for 10 minutes, cover to cover after Dhuhr every day. That's an example. Adhkar could be, I do all of, you could say, I do all of the after Salah adhkar after every Salah every day. This is the wording. Then you're going to have to think, okay, where will I have this adhkar? I actually don't recommend you have it on your phone, right? If you're praying in your house, for example, you want to put your phone away from you. You don't want that near you. If you're in the masjid, honestly, I avoid bringing my phone to the masjid. I only bring my phone when I need the countdown timer for Quran. Other than that, I don't bring my phone. So it's just distraction. So you might want one of those little books. I think it's Hisn al-Muslim. It has all these adhkar in it, right? The morning, the evening, and the post salah adhkar. It has it. So I would bring that, right? I would bring a little book and just have it in my pocket when I go to the masjid. Or you're praying at work. Same deal. Have the book with you. Leave your phone in your desk, your office desk drawer or something. Yeah. Go to pray. Keep your phone aside, and then have that book with you with the adhkar. So that's how you could establish that habit of adhkar. Another really good habit, which is really good from a health point of view, from a losing weight point of view, but obviously more importantly, following the sunnah and seeking the pleasure of Allah and disciplining your soul, disciplining your desires, is fasting. Okay, so fasting once a week is a good place to start, right? So pick a day of the week where it's going to be the easiest for you to fast, right? So for example, Mondays I have a lot of meetings, which means that my Mondays go very quick, right? And I'm on a meeting. I'm not sitting around trying to work, being tired and thinking, oh, when can I eat? No, Monday for me, it's all meetings. It's all just talking. And so therefore Monday is an easy day for me to fast, right? So that's where I would begin with the fasting habit. I would say Monday, I'm going to fast every single Monday. I'm not going to do Thursday now. When I fasted every single Monday for 6 months in a row, then I would consider adding Thursday. You get it? So, but you have to strategically pick the day in which you do this, in which you fast, right? Maybe Thursday will be easy for you. Maybe Wednesday would be easy for you. And it's not one of the sunnah days in terms of Monday or Thursday, but do Wednesday then, just because building a habit and having consistency is more important than almost anything that I can think of. Okay. So remember we format the way that we put the habit together or the goal together. We phrase it in a way like this, very specific. I do X for X lasting habit. Yeah. So for example, with fasting, with every Monday. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for that one, it's very, very simple. I fast every Monday and then fast every Monday. And then, so I hope you've been following along. You've been putting some ideas from some habits. Again, don't have any habits like ibadah habits other than it doesn't have to be ibadah even. You can use this for any habit, which is I do this for all my habits. But because we're in the spirit of Ramadan and stuff, and we're already establishing ibadah habits in Ramadan, we want to hold on to some of those, right? And you want to strategically let go of some as well. So what was I going to say? Yes. So you should be writing those goals down, one or two kind of habits you want to establish, you want to keep going after Ramadan, right? Now, how do you, like, you've written it down. Now, how do you actually remember to do it? There are two main ways, okay? And I use both of them. But if you're a beginner to this, I won't be able to show you exactly how to use it here on this stream. But they're very useful and they kind of guarantee that you do your habits, right? So the first is like just a calendar app. So for example, on Monday, let's say you're going to fast on Monday, put in your calendar to remind you the day before that you're going to fast, because you need to know the day before. Probably at nighttime, you need to know the day before. So you know to wake up for suhoor, maybe, to eat a little bit differently, drink a little more water, whatever it is. And okay, the next day I will be fasting. Okay. So calendar app can be good for that. Calendar app also potentially could be used for reminding you to read your Quran, for example. It's not what I use, right? I just use it for, I guess I use it for like these weekly things, like if it was once a week, or if it's I need a reminder the day before, then I would use the calendar for that, right? And I know all of you guys have calendar on your phone anyway, so maybe you just use that. I use Google Calendar, by the way, but whatever, right? It's about having that notification come on your phone to remind you. The other way that I remind myself to pretty much guarantee that I do my habits is I use Trello. Now, Trello is a project management software, and project management sounds all corporate and business, but really it's just a way of being productive, like getting stuff done in your life, you know, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's ibadah, whether it's work, whether it's family, whatever it is. If you want to do stuff, I really think you need a project management software, right? Or some kind of system, at least, where you're writing your goals down for the day, for the week, whatever, and you're just going and doing them. Trello is the best. I can't explain exactly how to use it, but you can find out how to use it, for example, by searching on YouTube, Trello Kanban. Yeah, I'll just put that in the chat so you know how to spell it. Trello Kanban. Okay, if you just Google how to Trello Kanban on YouTube, you're going to see how to use it, and I recommend you do that. And Trello has a really cool feature called, they call it a power up, which is repeat or repeater. And what this is it will you create a card, right? So for us, you have a card, and you can make those cards repeat. So you can say, copy this card every day, right? And that card might be read Quran 15 minutes, for example. Yeah. And so you tell Trello, repeat this card, keep putting that card in my to-do today list, keep putting it every single day at 5 a.m. So when you wake up and you see your Trello board, then you're going to see, okay, Quran, and it's going to be there, right? But this assumes you're using a project management software already, like Trello. Trello is the most beginner friendly, and honestly, there's no issues with it whatsoever, especially for your just personal life use, not business use, right? So Trello's easy, Trello's free. Definitely recommend you get Trello, and you could just search on YouTube Trello, how to Trello Kanban, and that's how you use it. The point here is to have all your habits. So let's say you're doing 2 habits. Fast every Monday and read Quran every day. Yeah, these are your 2 habits you're establishing after Ramadan. You want that to come into Trello, and you want to obviously actually check Trello every day. So this requires that it becomes part of your lifestyle, that you check your Trello multiple times a day to find out what you should be doing. And like I said, everyone should be doing that anyway, but this is just a really easy and good way to establish habits. So yeah, another way. So you've got your habits written down. How do you turn it into reality? You could do reminders on your calendar, or you could do project management. Use project management software like Trello, right? And like I said, on Trello, you want to set the card up so it repeats, right? So that every day it comes into your to-do list for that day. It comes in, read Quran, right? And it's there staring you in the face. You can't ignore it. And then you go, you read your Quran, and then you drag it across to done, to the done list, right? And that's pretty much how I keep my habits up. I'm not perfect, but I'm way more perfect than if I didn't use these 2 kind of frameworks, if you like. The way of setting the goals, right, where you're very specific, and secondly, basically Trello, right? Trello with the repeating cards. Definitely put them in the chat. The point here is to write your new habits down and really use this Ramadan as a springboard, the way that it should be used as a springboard, that you're reading Quran every day, a lot of you, reading Quran every day, you're praying extra every day, you're fasting every day, you're remembering more Allah more every day. How can you turn this into something which is a lifestyle beyond Ramadan? So that, imagine next Ramadan comes and you're reading, let's say, you're reading 5 pages of Quran every day. And then Ramadan comes and it's like, oh, I'm already reading 5 pages a day. That's completely normal for me. I'm going to read 15 more pages to do the 1 juz a day, right? So Ramadan stops becoming so complete change of lifestyle, and it just becomes you doing what you're already doing in a more intense way, if you know what I mean. And always remember that vision. Remember the vision that, inshallah, not now, not in, in a few days, I'll be able to go around saying, oh, I read 1 juz a day. Yeah, everything that I read. No, you'll be able to say in 5 years, in 10 years, I read Quran for 30 minutes a day, 60 minutes a day, and I've not missed a day for months. That is the goal here, right? To become one of those people that just worship Allah every day. They have these habits, they're consistent on them. And like the Prophet ﷺ said, translated, of course, that Allah loves the consistent deeds, even if they are smaller, right? And this is basically the principle upon which these consistent small deeds kind of framework that I've put together. That's what it's based on. Okay, that habit of doing أدوامه وإن قل. Yeah, the consistent deeds, even if it's smaller. Okay, so I mean, let me know if you have any questions in the chat. This is the framework. You need two things to, if you're really serious about living the lifestyle, taking some of these Ramadan habits and putting them into the rest of your life, so that in 5 years, 10 years, when you die, you can say, "Ya Allah, I read your book every single day of my life." Right? In the Quran, when Ibrahim, he says, um, إنما was it إنما حياتي ومماتي ونسكي sorry وصلاتي ونسكي لله رب العالمين. My life, my death, my slaughter, my prayer, it's all for Allah. Right? How can you say your life is for Allah if your daily life is just, wake up, breakfast, go to work, spend time with family, pray your salah, yes, but the rest is absent? No, you need habits. You need to have a lifestyle of ibadah, right? And this is how we establish a lifestyle. We don't need to be intimidated by, oh, how am I going to fast every day in my life? How am I going to read 2 juz every day? How am I going to be like, was it Imam Shafi'i, reading the Quran, finishing the Quran cover to cover every 3 days? It's not about that. It doesn't have to be like that. We build it up so that you get to the point where it's like you're reading 20 minutes a day, and moving from 20 minutes a day to 25 minutes a day feels like a breeze because it's just 5 more minutes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We got a question from Timma. I try to stay away from my phone/laptop. That's one of my goals. So something like Trello is out for me. Any ideas what I can do instead? Um, yes, yes. Well, the Kanban, as you can see in the chat, I wrote it. Kanban is a project management kind of framework that is not linked to any software. It's at the original use of Kanban was actually with sticky notes. Okay, sticky notes. So you can search this as well on YouTube, I'm sure. Sticky notes Kanban, and you'll find plenty of tutorials for how to use the Kanban system with sticky notes. Now, for me, I couldn't do that. Definitely, all the sticky notes and moving it around, I couldn't do that. And every day I'm working on my laptop anyway, and so therefore, since I'm working on my laptop anyway, it only makes sense that I've got my project management software there. Okay, but if you don't use your laptop anyway, then you could use the sticky notes, definitely, because that was the original Kanban was with sticky notes, and I believe it's definitely Japanese, but I think it was the people from Toyota that came up with this project management system, and they use sticky notes. That's how they did it. So I hope that helps. And yeah, let me know if anyone has any other questions, any further questions. Let me just pause my notifications here. Yeah. Well, yeah, probably wrap it up in a couple of minutes in that case, if we don't have more questions. If we have questions, I'm happy to go even for another half hour. It's not a problem. And so, yeah, I think I've painted the picture pretty well here, that it's about longevity. It's about living the lifestyle of ibadah, where ibadah is built into your lifestyle, right? And I always get inspired by people. Sometimes you meet people, and that's why it's good to mix with good people, with righteous people. You find some people who they just have the Quran in their pocket, and any spare moment they just pick it up and read it. That is the lifestyle of ibadah. That's the lifestyle of my life is for Allah. My life is for Allah. They go to work, they have families, they have kids, they have that, but any spare moment they pull out the Quran, they read it, right? And for you it could be something else, but the point is that the lifestyle is ibadah. It's not a secondary thought. It's no, I spend significant time every single day, significant being 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2, whatever it is, for Allah, just for ibadah, just for the things that Allah specifically told me to do. Because of course we can make work into a good deed. We could be rewarded for going to work with the right intention, no doubt about that. But then there are certain acts that Allah specifically listed in the Quran, like prayer, like reciting the Quran, like pondering on the Quran, like fasting, like sujood, like dua. These are things He specifically mentioned. Right? It doesn't mean that's the only way to get reward or the only way to worship, but you get the point, right? So we're 30 minutes in. I'll wait 1 minute and then we'll wrap it up, inshallah. it's actually a good length for people who want to watch the replay. And if you're watching the replay, I mean, it's a bit too late for me to mention it now, but definitely, while you're listening to this, you should write your goals down, right? Write your goals down. So everybody, before I leave you, I just want to remind you of the template, the format for your goals. It is I do X for X long at X time. Basically, that's it. And make sure you get all the details of what you need. So like I said, if you say I read Quran, where do you read in the Quran? Right? I would say I read cover to cover, right? And that means, you know, those little have it here. No. You know those little use that your page, right? And so therefore, you know, you're doing cover to cover where you left off. Okay. Okay, everyone, it's been a minute. Jazakumullahu khairan. I hope you really implement this. And this time next year, you're coming back on the live stream, planning your Ramadan, saying, I implemented that one thing, that one habit, and I've been doing it every single day since. May Allah give you the success and the resilience and the work ethic to be able to do that. And may Allah accept it from you. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you everyone for joining me. See you around. And don't forget to go to launchgood.com/bettermen if you want to contribute to my crowdfunding campaign. I'll let you go about what's going on there with my book. Okay. Actually, I'll type it just here in the chat, launchgood.com/bettermen. Okay. It hasn't done it as a link. Launchgood.com/. Is that going to come as a link? You get the point. You could just copy paste that into your browser and you'll find the campaign, inshallah. And I hope you will contribute if you see it as something valuable, useful, and you want to like pre-order your copy or whatever. Jazakumullahu khairan again. Hope the rest of your Ramadan goes really, really well. Thank you for joining me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.